Namaste, everyone. This is Harsha Ramaya, and today we are live on ECA and APER page for the most inspiring ECA APER talks. I welcome every one of you on this behalf. And today we have lined up six speakers. So before I introduce all the speakers, let me brief you about ECA and APER. ECA is a non-profit national association. It is an initiative that addresses and brings together all the stakeholders related to early childhood. May it be teachers, may it be parents, media, experts, everyone, and APER, Association for Primary Education and Research, does this same work for the primary years. I'm very happy for hosting this show today, and we have lined up six knowledge-rich, dynamic speakers today to speak to all of you. So my first speaker for today is Anuragshri ma'am. Welcome, Anuragshri ma'am. Second speaker lined up for today is Kausar Syed. Hi, Kausar.
Hi, Harsha. Hi, everyone.
Third speaker on the board today is Divya Punjabi. Hi, Divya. Fourth speaker lined up for today is Dr. Seema Negi. Hi, Seema.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Fifth speaker on board today with us is Nisha Jain. Hi, Nisha.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And last but not the least on this board today is Mansi Mehta with us. Hi, Mansi.
Hi, Asha. Hi, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone. So not taking much time, I will start with the first speaker. So we have Miss Anuragshri Anand with us, who is the director and principal of Exceller World School. She is the TH for APER Delhi NCR. So welcome, Anuragshri. And your topic for today is Let the Kids Shine, Outshine. What a wonderful topic to start with. All the best, Anuragshri. We are eagerly waiting to listen to you. Thank you.
Very good evening, all of you. And thank you so much, Swati ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. I'm humbled. Coronavirus, pandemic, COVID-19, quarantine, such heavy words. Let's give a pause here and rethink. Fresh air, no pollution, chirping of birds, no traffic, oneness, self-time, simplicity, quality time, togetherness, family, work from home, all these things are there with us. And this brings a smile on my face. When I talk about smile, immediately sunflower comes in my mind. Because when sunflower comes in my mind, this reminds me that happy, vibrant, and full of energy. That is the reason it's called the happiest flower. Their source of energy is sun. At the time of shade, they look one another and to harness the mutual energy. I always connect the little ones with the sunflowers. Parents, why can't we do this thing? Why can't we turn towards each other and mutually give the energy to each other in this time? When children come to our school, we have always seen they are very energetic, very vibrant. They are energy and they look here and there. They look for the peer group. They definitely look for other people. They look for the environment around them. And then that's the call, a smile. When they bring the smile on our face, that happiness is going to work these days, because whatever we do, our actions are the blueprints for the children tomorrow. And this time, when this time is there, I always think that we talk about 21st century. What is 21st century? We talk about 3 L's. 3 L's means learning. Learning skills means 4 C's come into that. When we talk about literacy skills, then IMT comes into that. When we talk about life skills, then FLIPS comes into that. But let's see, are we having a connect? Are we having a connect with our children these days? This is more important. We just want two things: smile, happiness, and the connect with the children. We talk about, we have really planned a whole curriculum for the year. We are working on it. We are just executing. We are making timetables. But when we talk about it. It's not there because today's demand is how my content will be my connect. If I want to connect with my children, I see till the time the best vaccination is not there, how I am going to cope up with this kind of situation. If I have to cope up with this kind of situation, then I have to really unwind everything. I have to really plan in a very simple way. And if I think of that, that called UBD, understanding of backward designing. I have to see after 6 months where I think that my child should be. According to that, we should prepare our strategies, we should prepare the lesson plans for the children, and we should play the simplicity for the children. When these things are planned, I think it's the toughest skill is to be simple. I always say it's the toughest skill to be very simple. And we want the simplicity today. We can't say that you will be having the schools, get up, sit here, do this, do that. It's not. It's not like that. But we have to create a routine for the little one. We have to create a routine for the child. And whole day has to be simply planned by the teachers. And teachers have to plan weekly, simply weekly, because let's see how the children coping up with those kind of activities. And once your weekly plan is planned, we have to give this weekly plan to the parents. Once the parents are having that plan, teachers should contact them because the learning tools are at home only. We are not going to tell them that this kind of gadget, these things are required, because everything can be taught with anything what is available at home. Once we are talking about this, each week is being planned in a different, unique manner. And every day is a different day, and every day is a new learning day for the child. So let's start with the ready time. The child is ready with the theme of the day. Maybe I have taken any theme of the day. Maybe I have taken the trekking of the day. So children are well equipped with those kind of dresses. They are there, and we have to have small sessions for them every day, maybe some yoga, prayer, these kind of small activities, so they are getting connected with us. After that comes the wisdom time. Wisdom time is when literacy, numeracy, and environmental awareness will take place. Whatever is there at home, if I'm taking numeracy, if utensils are there, we can use those utensils only for plus, minus, addition, anything and everything, we can use those things. Then come the quiet time. Quiet time is the reading time, listening time, and for the writing time. In this time, teachers should divide the children into small groups. They can contact 4 to 5 children together and guide them. After that, now comes the help time. This is very important because cooperative learning takes place with this. When we talk about it, the children should be self-sufficient these days. And when the teacher has planned 7 days, 7 activities are there, children are going to get up because parents are also working from home. And in that kind of situation, we want that children should also help in each and every activity which has been planned by the teacher for them. They should help them. After that comes the skill time. Skill time means all the children, when art, music, dance, anything, whatever you like, teachers are going to provide small videos towards that, and children are going to enjoy those activities. But one parents think that's the waste of time. We should have a free play time. Free play time. Our EC and APER has the policy also. All the parents are requested, all the teachers are requested to definitely go through it. It will be a great learning experience for all of us. Because if you want that our children should be creative, they should be independent, this is the right time. Let them play. Let them play with their own pace. And the last, not the least, is the cooperative time. This is the family time. When children are definitely involved with the family, family should really tell them the stories of their forefathers, what they used to do, their cities, from where they brought up, how they used to study. These small things, board games, but no TV, no news. Rest, everything you can do with that. But spend your time with your children. This time is never going to come back again for all of you. After that is, I'm just going to wind up with a very small story of a mother and a son. One day the son came back home from the school and gave a small letter to the mother. Mother opened the letter, she read the letter, she was in tears. She read the letter loudly. You are a genius and your school is not equipped with learned teachers. So they have told me to make you learn it. Your learning is going to take place at home. Years passed. That guy, small guy turned into a young man, and mother was no more. He opened, one day he was opening the drawer, he saw that letter. And when he read the letter, it was written that he was the dropout of the school. Then when he read that, he was in tears. He cried hours and hours together. And then he was none other than Thomas Alva Edison. And his inventories are being remembered from centuries to come. That means every child is a shining star. Every child is a shining star. We just have to give them the roots. They are going to make the wings for themselves, and they are going to become, and they are going to outshine. Let them work, hard work, the way they are, wherever they are, let them work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anurachri. Thank you so much. Wonderfully spoken. And three things that I took from you, what you spoke. One, actions are the blueprints. Second, you mentioned about the smile, and
I think we have lost connection from Harsha. So we move on to the next speaker of the day, is Ms. Kausar Syed. So we welcome Ms. Kausar Syed. And Kausar, I would request you to start with the session. Maybe Harsha can join us. So over to you, Kausar. You can speak about the topic that you're going to talk, and then you can begin with the session. All the best.
Good evening, everyone. So I was here to talk about unlocking the preschools. So as Arunashri ma'am was saying, that sudden pandemic has hit us, and when it was declared that the schools have to close down. And since then, we all have been thinking of how we unlock the preschools. With the kind of experience that I have understood, or from by talking to many educators, from seeing the side of the parents, is what I sum it up in my acronym, which is unlock. And so let's understand more about this. When you want to unlock your preschool, the first thing that you will need is unity. We have now understood that we cannot work in isolation. We have to come together. The school, the parents, we all need to come together, and that's what unity is about. Then we go to the second acronym, which is the new world. This is not the same world. It's a new world for all of us. We cannot sit back thinking that it's all going to be normal again. Even the normal is going to be the new normal. So we need to acclimatize, or we need to adjust ourselves with this new world. We need to accept the new world instead of waiting for things to go back to the normal. We need to accept it and then integrate it into our system if you want to unlock your preschool. And then come to the third acronym, which is learning. As we all know, we all are educators, and by now, with platforms like ECA and many others, we have understood that learning cannot stop. We cannot think that this is all, and this is it, and this is an answer for all the questions. The minute we understand that we have gained it all and we have done it all, there comes another set of questions which need us to get into the shoes of a learner. And by being an educator, and while we are serving children with preschools, learning is learning is inevitable part of our profession. So learning has to happen. When we were put into this pandemic, there were so many things happening, and this never happened before with anyone. So all of us had to learn. We learned through trial and error. We had to adapt to this learning and then move on if we want to unlock our preschools. Then the fourth acronym, which is an opportunity. I always believe that every obstacle gives us an opportunity, and this has also given us an opportunity. This is maybe the way we have gone to an online engagement plans, the amount of learning that all of us have gone through, are going through, all of this have shifted the focus on the importance of remote learning, which could have been one of the ways of future, that we have all been prepared. At the same time, we all have come to the same platform. We're on the same level now. So this has certainly become an opportunity. It's a universal problem. We all are facing the same problem. It's a universal answer that is going to be a universal solution to this problem. So, it is certainly an opportunity if you look at it that way, if you want to unlock your preschool. And the fourth very important acronym, the fourth important element of the acronym is compassion. We are going through this time where we were unprepared. And more so because human beings is all about socialization, so are children. We all are locked down into our houses, and certainly they are these emotional lows and highs that all of us are going through. Compassion is very, very important for all of us at this point. Till the time we understand each other, till the time we understand the pain and the hard work that each one of us is going through. Parents for the teachers, teachers for the parents, we together for the children, we need to even understand how they must be feeling sitting online and seeing you on the screen. Till yesterday they were able to hug you, but now they cannot do that. So that is very, very important. So compassion is the fifth element of this acronym. And the last and very important element of this acronym is Kindle. With so much of news, more so not being too positive, we all have lost the passion in us. I remember preschools being the houses of enthusiasm and passion and energy. So let's rekindle, let's kindle that passion within us, let's kindle that energy, and let's come back and open our preschools, which have now been very clear to us that they're not defined to the physical vicinity. So let's open the preschool by bringing unity, by accepting the new world, learning every day, using it as an opportunity, and bringing compassion into our life. Let's kindle this passion and unlock our preschools. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kausar, for beautifully explaining, and that acronym was wonderful. It was a session indeed, a wonderful session. Thank you, Kausar, for being there. Third on this panel today, we have Miss Divya Punjabi. Divya Punjabi is a culture custodian at KKEL. She is the Vice President of Early Childhood Association. Welcome, Divya. And the topic that she's going to talk, it's a very important topic. I think the need of this hour particularly, importance of social emotional learning for young warriors. I really love the title, Young Warriors. Divya, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Harsha. So I think I read somewhere that when physical distancing, which is the norm right now, is necessary, social and emotional connectedness becomes all the more critical. I think every day when I'm having, my Zoom sessions with my family and friend, the first thing that they talk about is what is it the first thing you want to do once the lockdown is lifted? They're saying we want to meet our friends, we want to meet our family. So this is the moment none of us ever imagined, right? We are all going through an emotional roller coaster ride. Will the lockdown be lifted? When will preschools come back? When will we be able to go to the parlors? I think that's the question all of us are facing right now. So this is a challenge, I think, that we need to convert the adversity into opportunity right now, and to pave the stronger emotional pathways for our children. We know, how do we do this as educators and as parents? All of us have a responsibility to create a social and emotional cushion around our kids so that we can take them through this moment of pandemic. This is the first time that has happened in history, but understand we are all in this together. It's not happening in only one region, it's happening all around the world. All of us are in it together. We also know that human relationships are the foundations of a society and very, very important for world peace. So first, let me explain, or let us all understand what social emotional learning is all about. Because we talk about literacy, we talk about numeracy, but I don't think equal importance has been given to this as a subject. So basically, it is a skill set that adults, children, all of us need to develop so that we can understand our emotions and we are able to cope with situations. So there is something that we all know is empathy, which we all need to experience right now. And there is a difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is when you're feeling sorry about somebody else, but empathy is when you are putting yourself in the person's shoes to appreciate and understand what they are experiencing. So why is social emotional learning so important? Because it helps us to understand ourselves, others, and take informed decisions. Once we are emotionally intelligent as adults and children, we can thrive. We don't need to survive, but we can thrive not only during our school years, but also in our adult life. So it is important that children understand, they have words to acknowledge their emotions, cope with them, and get along with others. So how do we learn this? So let me just tell you that there are 5 areas to social emotional learning. The first one being self-awareness. That is understanding your emotions and how does that impact others. When children start recognizing their emotions, they are giving names to their emotions, understand strengths, challenges, likes, dislikes. That is when they are self-aware. Again, in this, you have 2 types of self-awareness. You have private and public. Private is when you are actually feeling butterflies in your stomach, which I feel right now when I'm talking to you. That's something that only I'm experiencing. Public self-awareness is how do you understand how others are perceiving. Understand young children being egocentric, they develop this much, much later. They realize only later that there are others who have thoughts, feelings, and actions. Yeah. So in the same way, to understand your emotions, you need to build self-esteem. Only when you understand yourself, that children can build self-esteem, self-reflection, self-monitor. How do we build self-awareness in children? This is important for educators and parents. Have open-ended questions. Ask them, what was the best thing that happened today in your blended learning session? Don't focus on a negative thing. Did your teacher ask you questions in the thing? Was your friend mean to you? Share about yourself. Come down to reality. Associate with them. During my recess time, I used to play dodgeball. What do you do? Develop growth mindset. There are things your children will turn around and say, I can't do this. Hear them out. Understand that they are trying, they're putting an effort. Give them the statement, give them the power of yet. I can't do this yet. Self-management. How can you cope with your emotions? Are you reacting? Are you responding? Do you need something? Do you want? Are you able to set goals? Social awareness. It's again about empathy, seeing, appreciating diversity, accepting that people are different. Also, for children to be empathetic, you need to show empathy. When your child turns around and says that I want to have ice cream when you're serving dinner, say as a rule, we're going to have dessert later. So he understands that you understood the child's feeling. Also discuss alternative strategies. Talk about body language and tone. Talk about non-verbal cues. The 4th one is relationships. Talk about communication, the importance of verbal and non-verbal communication, cooperation, conflict resolution. 5th one, very, very important right now, is responsible decision making. Talking about consequences for personal actions. Very, very applicable today. What do you think will happen if you don't wear a mask and go out? What do you think if you don't wash your hands regularly? Some of this social emotional learning activities that we can do for preschool children, which we can do even during blended learning, is think, pair, share. So they understand that you have to accept everybody. For primary children, you can actually have a strength chain, make a strength chain so that everybody discusses the strength of the family members. Now, coming to SEL during COVID time, psychological science tells us that social context, interpersonal relationships, practicing physical distancing might limit the learning and development of children. So hence blended learning is very, very critical right now. Active screen time for connection, critical thinking, stability, security is very, very important. I'll just take a minute. The message for educators during SEL from ECA and APER is, this is a very important time in history. We are the ones who have taken up virtual learning, and the impact will be seen later. So first, acknowledge your children's feelings when you start your class. While children may appear to be very, very comfortable, talk to them about their feelings. Parents, have conversations, clear their doubts, be mindful when you speak to them, maintain routines, have regular exercise, rest, relaxation, and first of all, take care of yourself. There has never been a shutdown like this in history, and teachers are doing great things by moving on to doing a blended session. It's important for children to have routine so that when the pandemic is over, they will go back easily. Before Bloom's, it is Maslow. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Divya. I know that this topic cannot be, shortened into 7 minutes because this is a very detailed topic to talk on, but very briefly you explained and you touched the right chords at some point. The best thing that I liked, I will pick up a few things that you talked about. Convert the adversity into opportunities. I think that is the best that we can do at this point of time. You also spoke about that we do not talk much about social and emotional development of children. I think it's high time that we start talking and we start initiating these type of conversations so that it helps us understand the children better. And one more important thing that I liked, acknowledging the children's feelings. I think that is the essence of what you talked in your session. Thank you so much, Divya, for throwing light on this.
Thank you.
And then on this panel today, we have Dr. Seema Negi. She is the principal of Sanjeevani World School. She is the territory head for APER, Malad and Bhayandar. And her topic for today is parent-teacher-student connection. Welcome, Seema.
Good afternoon. Thank you. This topic is very, very close to my heart because we believe in a very, very simple analogy. That is, most of you might have seen Jagannath Puri Yath Yatra. I will start from there. So we believe when we see Jagannath Puri Yath Yatra, three important elements of that Rath Yatra, they are. You see the chariot wherein God and goddesses, they sit. And then one element is the people who are pulling the chariot, and other element is the people who are cheering for it. So for me, my students are the one who are sitting on the chariot. And if parents are pulling that chariot, teachers are there to cheer. And when teachers are pulling the chariot, we want parents to be there to cheer. So this is how our journey for parent-teacher-student relationship started. And we started making a very, very strong community who can bridge the gap between school and home. Because behind a child, two institutions need to stand very, very strong. That is home and school. So how we started that? So everything that we do revolves around a very basic principle, that is happiness and gratitude. Because the heart that is full of gratitude is close to abundance. So this is how everything that we do in school, whether it's academics or it's beyond academics, everything revolves around that. When it comes to our assemblies are dedicated to various sectors of society. So for example, our Monday assembly is only and only for teachers and our parents. Tuesday assembly is for sibling and friends. Wednesday assembly is for our country. Thursday assembly is for each one of us, whether living thing or non-living thing. And Friday assembly is for world peace and harmony. It's for Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. This is how stepwise we are building a very strong community. Now I'll come to the stepwise approach that we follow per day. Our Monday is dedicated to Sanskritik Prerna-dayak Somvar. That is motivation from our rich culture and heritage. There is so much that we can take from that. There's so much that we can take from our Gurukul system. We try to inculcate that in our teaching learning. Our Tuesdays are Mangalwar Ka Abhar, that is Thankful Tuesday. Wednesday is Gyanvardhak Budhwar. Here, we ensure that Wednesdays are futuristic. There's a lot of wisdom revolve around whatever activities we do on Wednesday. Thursday is Togetherness Thursday. It is like togetherness is our pride. That is what we live by. That is what is our belief. So when I say togetherness, it's parent, student, school, all together on the similar page. So that is that is our Guruvar Ka Gaurav. And Friday is something which is very, very close to my heart, because Friday is failure to success Friday. Vifalta se safalta ka शुक्रवार. We need to tell our children failure stories. We need to tell them it's not possible that every time, every attempt that you will take, you will be a success. Every time there is a failure story which has something to tell us. So what we do, we cater to intelligence quotient, and equally we cater to emotional quotient, social quotient, and adversity quotient. And for this, if our parents are not on the same page with us, it is very difficult for us to say that, yes, we are giving you holistic being. No, for holistic being, we need our parents together with us. That brings us to a new day, that is Samvedanshil Shanivar, which we just launched because of this lockdown period. This is the time we need to reach out to our children more than ever that we did. So our Saturdays are dedicated to only and only the mental and emotional health of each and every child, each and every parent. So that will be the time wherein teachers and parents will be on the same page, discussing about whatever happened during the entire week. They have to be sensitive towards each other's need. So our entire week turns out to be a Rang Biranga Ravivar. That's the colors of happiness, love, and smile, because that needs to come alive when we are talking about our learners, when we are talking about our togetherness. Now, small practices that we follow, we do not have the normal parent-teacher association in our school. We have PTSA, that is Parent Teacher Student Association, because if the child voice is not heard, if the child is not a part of that association, whom are we working for? Because together we are working for our children. Our PTMs are known as Expressing Gratitude Day. Our teachers express the gratitude to parents for helping the child reach that particular level, and whatever help they need from parents, they convey it to them. Then comes our result day. It is never declared as open house. It is Achievers Day, Ek Nayi Kahani. From there, their journey ends in a particular class and new class begins. We have sessions like Direct Dil Se Dil Tak, which has nothing to do with academics. It's a very informal setting wherein music is played. All the teachers are sitting. Parents can come and talk to any teacher, whatever they want to talk, but beyond academics, because academics we cater during PTM. We have mindfulness that we practice very rigorously through Gyan Mudra and Dhyan Mudra. Now our children also know that once one teacher leaves the class and second teacher takes time to come, they have to sit either in Gyan Mudra or Dhyan Mudra. So that has become a part and parcel of our teaching learning process. Then we have our parents doing a lot of things for us. Our Khushiyon Ka Mela, a signature program, Fun Fiesta, is organized by our parents for all the students and all the teachers. We have our commerce project, Market Kshetra. This is organized by our students and our parents for all the teachers. And then there is something called Gyan Manthan, where we bring our culture, heritage, and mythology alive. That is done by students along with teachers for all our parents. So what we try to do, we try to ensure that whatever we are doing in school, everyone is involved in that. And yesterday we started one drive. That drive is called Boon Boon Se Sagar. Here we requested our parents, if they have any spare gadget at their home, whether it's iPad or it's tab or it's phone, which can be repaired and it can reach to the end user who do not have access to technology. And I'm very happy to say that by now we have got 5 gadgets. Now, just to sum up, I just want to say that na hum mahan, na tum mahan. हमारा साथ ही है हमारा अभिमान. बच्चों का भविष्य संवारना होगा, कल के लिए आज को बनाना होगा. करने यह दास्तान पूरी, आपका साथ है बहुत जरूरी. साथ में मंजिल की ओर कदम बढ़ाएंगे, मुश्किलों से कह देंगे, अकेले नहीं हैं हम, अकेले नहीं हैं हम. Together, students, parents, and school. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Seema. Thank you so much for beautifully explaining the whole concept. Only one thing I will pick up, because you spoke a lot of things and you have very beautifully explained the assembly. So I will not touch each and everything, though I liked the entire session. But only one thing that I liked when you mentioned 2 institutions, home and school, because home is also an institution. If parents start understanding that, I think schools ka आधा काम वहीं पे खत्म हो जाएगा. Very beautifully the assembly that you explained. I think if we can incorporate the same in other schools, I think it will go a long way. Thank you, Seema. Thank you so much for putting it together and making this session so lively. Thank you, Seema. Then on this panel, we have Nisha Jain Grover with us. Welcome, Nisha. Vatsalya Legacy Education Society. She is a counselor, psychologist, child helpline, and Department of Child Rights. She is the territory head for Jaipur ECA chapter. I welcome Nisha, and her topic is handling special needs at home. So welcome, Nisha.
Thank you so much, Harsha.
Mansi, if you can put Nisha.
Thank you, Harsha. Am I audible?
Yes,
Nisha,
Nisha,
you will
carry
have to on your video also. We are not able to see you, Nisha.
She switched on her video, Harsha.
Yes, I've switched it on, audio,
Yeah,
video,
yeah.
both.
Carry on, carry on.
Okay, so thank you so much to Swati ma'am, Harsha, Mansi to have me on this panel. What we are going to talk about today is handling special needs, which is really being very difficult nowadays to, especially during the COVID time when the children are not going to school, when the children are not able to go out, they are not able to meet their teachers and their friends. So firstly, I would just want to say that we are precisely going to talk about mainstream special needs. Now, what do you mean by mainstream special needs? So we are going to touch base upon learning disabilities. We are going to touch base upon ASD, ADHD, ADD. So these are the 4 parameters that we'll touch. Today, let's talk about learning disabilities. So we all have seen this movie Tare Zameen Par, and Amir Khan has made this term very, very popular, dyslexia, right? But learning disabilities is not just about dyslexia. Learning disabilities has about 6 other parameters, and the most common to find in schools, mainstream schools, right from pre-primary till the secondary level, is dyslexia, that is difficulties in reading, dysgraphia, that is difficulties in writing, dyspraxia, that is difficulty in eye-hand coordination, and dyscalculia, that is difficulty in understanding numbers and calculations. So what do you do at home when a child is already having difficulties in reading? Most of the people say stories padho, read books, read this, read that, spend your time in this and that things, But what if the child is just not able to read? What if the child is just not able to understand words? So suppose if you have preschoolers at home, or if you have children from class 1 to 5 at home, or you're a teacher who's taking online classes, the most important thing when it comes with reading is visualizing. Everybody, even you and me, all the educators here, all the teachers here, have to understand this, that whenever we read anything, we also visualize it with us. The visualization goes around and goes on with the reading. That is how our thought process works, and that is how our brain is wired to do that. So the moment a child understands and visualizes what the child is reading, automatically the child will start reading on its own. So for example, suppose if you want the child to read b at a bat, of course, phonics and all that is happening in the school, and we are even doing it at home. Instead of teaching how or making the child rote learn b at a, tell and explain the child to visualize how a bat looks. What would the child do when it comes to a bat in his hand? What about something else that is related to bat? Suppose you want the child to learn or read the word beautiful. Help the child to visualize the word beautiful. What does the word beautiful mean? How do you visualize? Suppose if it's a small child, for him or her, the word beautiful means mother. My mother is very beautiful. She looks beautiful when she wears this, or when she wears nail polish, or when she puts up a bindi. The moment the visualization starts, reading becomes a little more easier. Next comes is dysgraphia, difficulty in writing. So difficulty in writing means there is a lot of connection when it comes to tripod movement and the way our hand moves. So in a very simple activity, take a tray full of water and tell the child to just move hands from up and down and from right to left with waves, both the side, and with both the hands, left and right both. So eye-hand coordination and grip is happening with both the hands. Let the child do the movements in water. From water, you can move on to sand. If you don't have sand, have a tray which is full of salt. From salt, go on to a little more a product or a material which doesn't spread very fast. So maybe some dal, you can take it at home, or you can take rice, or you can just take the mud that is there in the garden outside or in the pot, and then the child can start moving hands. The moment this grip is ready, the moment this process is ready, the child wants to write, is not difficult for him or her to write. Of course, there are various activities, but this is a process which can be started at home. The third one is dyspraxia. Dyspraxia means a lot of eye-hand coordination is required. So a very simple activity for that can be, take a bowl which has chickpeas in it and take a bowl that has rajma in it, mix both of them, give it to the child and tell the child to separate it one by one in this specific time. Give either 1 minute, 30 seconds, or 1 minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. Let the child achieve it within 30 seconds, within 15 to 20 days, and the eye-hand coordination improves. You can change the things the way the child wants to do it. There can be toys, there can be rings, there can be beads, whatever the child is comfortable with. The fourth and the last one is dyscalculia, wherein you have to teach with numbers. So numbers can be taught in a way where you have vessels at home, where you have fruits and vegetables. So I would just like to sum up with this, that no matter what kind of special need you have at home, it is very, very easy and important both to handle these activities in a very, very productive way at home, so that when the child goes back to school, the child is not lost. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you so much, Nisha. I'm sure that 7 minutes, as I mentioned to Divya, 7 minutes are very less to express and explain these kind of topics, because these kind of topics really need a lot of awareness programs to be done. So thank you, Nisha, for at least opening and, just initiating a talk on this platform. Thank you, Nisha. Now I would request another speaker lined up for today. The last speaker for today is our own Mansi Mehta. She is a passionate early childhood educator and school operational expert. She is a national project coordinator for Early Childhood Association. My friend, my darling, thank you, Mansi, for being here today and speaking out. Her topic is the reality of testing times. The title itself is, Mansi, very, very nice. So I'm looking forward to hear you, Mansi.
Thank you so much, Harsha. Am I audible? Otherwise, I'll have to wear the headphones.
No, you're perfectly audible, loud and clear.
Thank you so much, Harsha. Can I have Kausar on the screen, please, for a second?
Kausar, yes.
Sorry, due to the technical issue, we were not able to introduce Kausar. So before I start with my session, being the co-host, I take this honor to introduce Ms. Kausar Syed. Ms. Kausar is the founder of Learn to Lead. She's the National Core Committee member of ECA, and she's the secretary for Telangana Parents Association. Please pardon us, Kausar, due to technical error, we were not able to introduce earlier. But before starting my session, I wanted to do that honor to you.
That's very sweet of you, Mansi. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'd like to start my session by showing a picture to all of you, a screen. So let me just show a photograph to you. So the one that you see on the extreme right, that's me. I identify myself with this picture so very well. So I just wanted to share this with you, and accordingly, I'll start my session. So yes, it surely feels very different to be on the other side. Maybe my topic should have been when the host becomes the guest. Many people have seen me being the host on ECA APER Talks, and today I had an honor to have Harsha, my dear friend, who said that she'll be the host to ease out my pressure. I would like to firstly thank Dr. Swati Popat-Vats, who gave me this prestigious opportunity to be a speaker at ECA APER Talks. Friends, for me, it is like a dream come true. It's more like winning an Oscar award. So let's talk today. Think as if I am one of you. Just like me, from the girl from that photograph, my topic is also a little hatke. It's the reality of testing times. All my life, I have been very curious to know and understand human behavior. So today, whatever I'm going to share, whatever I'm going to speak is going to be age neutral as well as gender neutral. There are all the speakers, everybody talks about children, about parents. I'm going to talk something which is very generic because I can relate to that topic very, very well. Taking the theory of the ecological theory of Bronfenbrenner, I focus on self and our immediate surroundings as my topic. So my topic is divided into two parts. Just for a second, I would request all of you to think, are we really taking care of ourselves in these testing times, the lockdown time? Are we really doing that? This lockdown has affected people in two ways, just like we have the two sides of the same coin. We have developed patience. We have become more responsible. We have our acceptance level for the situation has increased a lot because that's the only option we have right now. But on the flip side, there is so much of aggression. There is so much of violence. There is child abuse. There are a lot of things which are going on in the world which we might not even be aware of. I like to share two articles in brief that I read a few months back and which really left an impact on my mind, and to some extent it did disturb me as well. There was an article, there are people who play online Ludo games. So there was this man who lost the online Ludo game against his wife, and because of the aggression, he hit his wife. That was very, very disturbing for me. The second article that I read was a newly born child was killed by his mother because of the aggression that she was facing. Could be a postpartum disorder, I don't know. But the two stories that left a lot of impact on my mind, making me think, where are we headed? This is the time to show more support, to show more care, more understanding to self as well as to others. We, women or men or children, there are many people who face a lot of emotional traumas, emotional disturbances, especially during this lockdown. I urge all of you to be more care, giving more care to your children because they are not able to meet their friends, they are not able to play outside. Give more care and attention to the elderly people in your home. It was only during the free time they used to go and meet their friends in the garden. It was a beautiful time for all the elderly people who are at our home. Today, everybody is stuck. Everybody is just not able to move out. All I want you all to think is, please, take care of yourself first. Tell me one thing, can you pour out from an empty cup? Unless and until the cup is full, you won't be able to pour out your things that you have to offer to others. What is the point of this kind of a life if you're not able to reach out to others, if you're not able to reach out to people who actually depend on you, who actually want you to be a part of their life, or they want a help from you and you are able to offer them. So friends, I really request to be a little more sensitive, little more caring, little more understanding during these special lockdown times. This is the reality of testing times. That's when I chose this topic. My second topic for the session focuses on children. Of course, I love children. Coming to children, we all have been talking, listening to a lot of webinars, a lot of sessions that talk about screen times. Children are always on the phone. Children are always looking at the TV. There are people who are just talking that why are children not listening to us? With my understanding of what do children want actually, I have come out with 5 times. The screen time is one of the times that everybody is fed up with. So I came up with another 5 times that we can provide our children, and I think the screen time will no more be an issue. The first time is the scene time, SEEN. Do we give enough time to children and make them feel that they are seen around us? Today, we all are taking for granted, हाँ घर में ही तो है, बैठ के खा रहा है, बैठ के पढ़ रहा है, बैठ के टीवी देख रही है, ऑनलाइन क्लास अटेंड कर रही है, blended learning कर रही है. There are so many things that we take things for granted. Are we giving that focus to the child that they are being seen? The next time that I have listed down is the touch time. Do we give enough hugs to children? There are so many sessions that Swati ma'am takes online. There are so many sessions that Swati ma'am has taken in conferences on. She's mentioned a child requires 12 hugs per day. I'm not telling you all to count the number of hugs that you give to a child. But all I'm saying is, how often are we taking care of those needs? Children need to be hugged. Children need to be taken care of. This is a topic that focuses completely on children. The third time that I have listed down is the taste time. The taste. Are we giving children enough opportunities to make some salads at home, some milkshakes at home, involving them in the cooking activities that they can be of help? Are we teaching children, and this especially lockdown times when they are not able to go out, we are not able to go out, to be grateful for all the healthy and nutritious food that we are getting at our home? They need to start valuing this, because this is the actual testing time, and this is the reality, friends. The fourth talk time that I'm going to talk about is the talk time. Do we really give children time to talk? We are always there. They will always be they keep on talking things, but are we giving them actual time to talk to us? The fifth and the last time is the hearing time. We listen to people. Do we actually hear them? Do we hear to children? Do we sit for 2 minutes? Because today, let me tell you, friends, everybody, whether it's a mother, father, grandparents, anybody who is a working professional, they do not have time, because there's a lot of things to do at home. There are a lot of things, people have started working from home. There are people who are undergoing stress because they have lost jobs. There are people who have got cut down on the salaries. There are many issues we all are facing, friends, but let's accept it. These are the 5 times that I have chosen from the 5 important sensories that we teach children from our childhood. I am the one, we all of us have learned about 5 senses, haven't we? We all have learned, but are we using it in the right way? So I repeat, my 5 times that we could give to our children is the scene time, the touch time, the taste time, the talk time, and the hear time. These are the best times that you will actually be spending with your children, friends. Think about it. Do you want the right present so that it will lead to the right future, or you want the otherwise? The choice is yours. Also, just to end up the session, because I can see Harsha on my screen, because my 7 minutes are up maybe, I'll just take one last minute to mention it to all of us. Before we take care of others, friends, please take care of yourself, your mental health. If you are not stable, if you are not able to take care of yourself, you will definitely not be able to take care of your others and your friends, family, anybody that you want to be in touch with. In every session, I have always come across an acronym that all the speakers give to the participants, to the viewers. I have made an acronym for myself, and I would want all of you to make acronym for yourself, okay? Because everything starts with us. Everything starts with I first, and then it leads to the outside world. So let me share my acronym with you. My name is Mansi, as all of you know. So I am a multitasker. That's acronym for M. I am approachable and accountable. For N, it's non-negotiable. I never negotiate for the things that I stand for. S is for self-awareness and sensitive. Yes, friends, I'm extremely proud to tell you all, I am a extremely sensitive person. There are people who make fun of me as well. That तू कितना सोचती है यार, इतना दिल पे क्यों लेती है यार, ऐसा क्यों बोलती है यार. But friends, trust me, the sensitive nature of mine has really helped me to be sane in this testing times. That's the only thing that has kept me going, because I'm extremely empathetic and extremely sensitive towards everybody's needs. And the last but not the least, I is to inspire others. If मैं किसी के और के काम ना आई तो ये जिंदगी का क्या फायदा. So I would always want and look forward to people who can tell me, मानसी यार तेरे वजह से मैंने give up नहीं किया था. You were the one behind I not giving up in life. That will be the day of my success. So I thank everybody. I thank Swati ma'am. I thank Kamini ma'am. I thank Harsha. I thank Meghna, my very dear friend. I thank Richa from ECA Telangana. She is my best buddy. I thank my family, my mother, father, my brother, my sister-in-law. It's only because of them, friends, and because of the people whom I took name of, that I am sane today. In this period, when people have nothing to do, it's only the credit goes to these people that I am stable, I am sane, I am right in front of you talking to all of you. So thank you so much. Harsha, before I want you to talk, let me put myself in a gallery view so all of us can see each other. Can I have all the videos and all the mics on, please? Before Harsha, before you take it forward, I just want one thing to tell all my fellow panelists and speakers, the way I give acronym to myself. I want Seema ma'am to say an adjective which is related to her with an S.
Sensitive and sensible.
Sensible, that is something that I had chosen for you. I have written in my diary, so I had written sensible, Seema. Okay, next to Divya, please.
Dynamic and daring.
Oh my God, it's something similar. I had written dashing, Divya.
Oh, wow, you're a mind reader also.
Of course.
Mind reader. M for mind reader.
Mind reader, yes. Nisha?
For me, because I am most of the time with small children, the best that suits me is naughty.
Oh my God, there is something in me that I have read your minds, because I have written naughty Nisha. Trust me. Kausar?
No, I would always want people to describe me, but as on the spot to say it, I would say Kindle.
Okay, I had written kind for you. So yeah, it's something similar. Anurachri ma'am?
Always ready.
Always ready. I had written adorable for you. And Harsha?
Thank you so much.
Harsha, oh my God, I had not written anything for myself. Actually, I'll read out what I had written, but during my presentation, I forgot to, name that.
Never
so
mind.
For Anurachri, I had written awesome. For Seema, I had written superb, scholarly. For Kausar, I had written kind. For Nisha, I had written novel. For Divya, I had written dynamic. And for Mansi, I had written mind-boggling. So I forgot to write one more
I agree
myself.
with you on
I have an
Mansi.
adjective for Harsha, which is she's a extremely humble person.
Name,
know her
humble.
Yes. So Harsha, if you would like to say something about my session, over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you. I think this last session was exactly a therapeutic session, I would say, an inspiring session, because a lot of the things that you spoke, actually, we really wanted to listen those kind of things, because we are passing through these times. We know कि हमको ये करना है, पर हम करते नहीं हैं. So when people come out and they talk on these topics, we understand that how important it is. So Mansi, thank you so much for sharing your views. I thank all the panelists here, all the speakers here for sharing their knowledge with all the listeners out there. And I request all the listeners who are there at the audience to kindly like and follow our ECA page. Kindly visit our website. And if you are not a member of our WhatsApp group, kindly email us your name, your city name, and your phone number on ecaadmn@gmail.com, so that we
Harsha,
can
I'll write it down in the chat box.
Perfect. So Mansi is writing down that on the chat box. So kindly join the WhatsApp groups. Kindly like and follow our ECA and APER page. And there is also a Facebook group you can join in. And thank you so much, Dr. Watts, for making this ECA APER talks and Mansi and all the other speakers for being there and making this show so knowledge rich. Thank you so much.
Any
Thank
last
you,
words
everybody.
any last words
Thank
from
you,
Dr.
everyone.
Seema, Anuragshri ma'am, Kausar, Divya, Nisha? I need 2 minutes to write down the information because if we end the session, I won't be able to write. So just few last words.
Keep it
Just to
kind,
Thank you,
add on,
Mansi.
and be simple.
okay. Just in continuation with Mansi, what
Sorry.
you said, I would, what the air hostesses say, first wear your mask before you wear your
Yeah,
children's
exactly.
mask. And I'd
Yeah.
like to thank everybody, Dr. Vats, you, Harsha, and all my fellow panelists. Thank you very much.
Same here. I want to thank Mansi. I want to thank Harsha. Harsha is one of the most warm educators that I have come across. Always smiling, always encouraging, and always motivating.
Thank you,
And
Nisha. Thank you.
Mansi, at this age and at this times, you have just converted yourself into a bigger rock star.
Thank you
And
so much. It's all
Anuragshri ma'am,
your
Seema, you
blessings.
all spoke so well. There was so much of learning in what Divya said. And Dr. Vats, as we all know, she is like the tree jiske sab branches hai hum.
Yes.
And she takes care of us like a mother. She's the mother of ECA. Rightly, the name has been given to her by Ravi from School News. And thank you all so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, Harsha, any last few words? I'm done with the message, but just a closing comment.
I'm really humbled and thank you so much, Dr. Watts, for making me a part of this awesome group. Every single day I'm learning a lot of things. Thank you, Mansi, for being always available. Thank you, everyone, for putting in so nice comments and appreciating me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you so much, everybody. The last closing comment that I have: stay healthy, stay safe, take care of yourself. It is very, very important. Keep smiling. Be always available for people because maybe you are the only one who is doing that. So be that person. And we all will catch up again. All the attendees, thank you for attending. All the panelists. Next Monday, same time, same time, same show. I will be the host and let's rock it again. So thank you, everybody, and have a great evening ahead.
Thank you.